Hey everybody, welcome to Mad Backyard. Today we're going to be making a smoked leg of lamb. We'll be doing ours on our Pit Boss pellet grill, but you can follow along no matter what type of smoker you have. First we'll show you how we season and smoke the lamb, finishing it with high heat for a nice outside sear, and then how we serve it with a delicious and easy red wine reduction. Today I'll be smoking a 5-pound boneless leg of lamb roast. I picked this one up at Costco. When you remove the lamb from the packaging, you'll notice it's likely wrapped in a netting. Since the bone's already been removed, this is helping it keep its shape. However, there's a lot of surface area we can't get to with our seasoning when it's wrapped up like this. So we want to carefully remove the netting so we can fully season the entire roast. Spread the lamb out in a foil pan and start by seasoning with a healthy amount of kosher salt and fresh cracked black pepper on all sides. Next, we're going to rub a marinade on the lamb consisting of half a cup of olive oil, 1 tablespoon of minced rosemary and 2 teaspoons of minced thyme, 1 tablespoon or 2 large cloves of minced garlic, 1 teaspoon of chili powder, and 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika. Whisk the marinade together well and spread it generously on all sides of the lamb. Next, you want to truss the lamb back up with some butcher's twine so that it cooks evenly. This is really easy to do. Just lay about 3 or 4 pre-cut strings out on top of a pan. I like to smoke a lot of my roasts on a wire rack over a foil-lined baking sheet. It helps protect the meat from any excessive heat from below and also makes cleanup a lot easier when I'm done cooking. So I'm just laying my strings right down on top of this pan. Put the lamb on top of the strings and pull them tight to tie it back into the same shape or as close to it as possible that it was when it came in the net originally. For this 5-pound leg of lamb, I laid out 3 going in one direction and 1 longer one going lengthwise. You don't need to do anything fancy, regular knots will work just fine. Cut off any excess string after you tie the knots. You can do all this the day beforehand if you want to save yourself some time on the day of the cook. After you tie the strings, just wrap the leg of lamb in plastic wrap and put it back in the refrigerator overnight. Start up your smoker and set the temperature to 270 degrees. Today we're going to be using this blend of cherry oak and maple called Butcher's Blend from Bear Mountain Pellets. We love Bear Mountain Pellets for the amount of smoke and flavor they put out, and I especially like cherry wood and other milder fruit wood smoke on lamb. Make sure to always store your leftover pellets in a good airtight container. This will not only keep them organized, but your pellets will last a lot longer when not exposed to humidity. We like this one from Oklahoma Joe's because you can shake out the excess dust from a new bag before pouring your pellets in the hopper. I'll put a link to it down in the description if you want to check it out. We're also going to be using a pellet tube smoker for some extra smoke flavor on our leg of lamb. We made a video showing step-by-step the correct way to light a pellet tube smoker. I'll put a link to that down in the description too. Once the temperature's up to 270 degrees and your pellet tube is making smoke, go ahead and place the entire tray with the leg of lamb in the smoker. I like to open up the exhaust chimney on my pellet grill quite a bit when using a pellet tube. This assures plenty of airflow, and I find it keeps the pellet tube from going out during the cook. We'll be using our wireless meter thermometer to track the internal temperature while the lamb smokes. For lamb, I like a medium doneness, which will be a final temperature of 140 degrees internally. While the lamb is smoking, we're going to put together an easy red wine and shallot reduction to drizzle on top when it's finished. The acidity from red wine and citrus pairs well with lamb by cutting through the richness of the meat. In a saucepan over medium heat, melt 2 tablespoons of butter and then add a 1/4 cup of minced shallot. Saute the shallot in the melted butter for about 5 to 10 minutes, stirring frequently so that it doesn't burn, until the shallots are soft and yellow. Then we're going to add 1 bottle of red wine. It does not need to be expensive. This was a $4 bottle of wine I found on the bottom shelf at the store, and it worked fantastic. But feel free to use whatever type of red wine you prefer. Next, we're adding a 1/4 cup of apricot preserves for sweetness, and then a tablespoon of freshly grated lemon zest. Remember, lemon juice should never be added to a sauce while it's cooking over heat, as hot lemon juice can release a very bitter taste. Instead, use lemon zest to get these citrusy flavors. Let the sauce simmer over medium-low heat for 20 to 30 minutes or until it is reduced down by about 50%. At this point, you can add salt and pepper to taste. We used about half a teaspoon of each. Turn the heat down to low and keep it warm until you're ready to serve the lamb. It's now been 2.5 hours since we put the leg of lamb on. We're up to 120 degrees internally. You can see I also flipped it over here. We're going to flip it back the way it was. And this fat on the top is rendering nicely, you can see, but we want it to render even a little more and get even a little nicer bark on the top. So we're going to go ahead and turn the temperature up on our Pit Boss to finish it up here. Now remember I said 140 degrees was the final temperature, so we're at 120. We want to take it up to 135 and then we'll pull it so that it gets up to 140 degrees while it's resting. So we're going to go ahead and close the lid. And if you've got a pellet grill like this, you can simply come over and turn the heat up. We're going to go all the way up to high and just get the heat cranking in there. And then we'll monitor the temperature and take it off when it hits about 135 degrees. It took our leg of lamb about 15 more minutes to come the rest of the way up to 135 degrees after we increased the temperature. The lamb is rested for about 15-20 minutes. We're going to go ahead and cut the ties off. All right, let's slice into it and see how we did. So you can see it stayed nice and tender and juicy, nice medium right in the center there, and it really helps getting all that seasoning in there to start with rather than just on the outside, so we have nice flavor all throughout the lamb. We're gonna go ahead and cut a slice off and give it a try. Make sure you got a good meat slicing knife, just like when we did all our beef roasts and everything. It really makes a big difference having a good knife. You can just see how tender that is right in the center there. Let's cut a little piece off here and give it a try. You get some really good, nice, rich, smoky flavor on that lamb. Good flavor from the rosemary and the garlic. We're gonna try a little bit of the red wine shallot sauce we made here. Just try a little bit on this piece. That red wine reduction sauce is just delicious. It really balances out the flavor of the smoky lamb. You get the richness, the fattiness from the lamb itself, and then that brightness from the red wine and the lemon zest in the sauce. So the two pair perfectly well together. We hope you enjoyed this video. I'll put a link to the full step-by-step recipe you can find at madbackyard.com, as well as links to all the products we used today down in the description below. Make sure to also sign up for our newsletter, and make sure to check out the Mad Backyard Barbecue Facebook group, where you can post pictures of your own cooking and get questions answered quickly. I'll put links to all those things down below as well. Thanks for watching.